Hello everybody, this is Dano the Artist here with a final Sonic Month video for this year. Closing out, this is our second year doing this. It's a celebration on my Twitch, that's twitch.tv/Dano the Artist, where we play all of the Sonic games, every single one. Last year, 2021, we did our first annual Sonic Month that consisted of all the mainline console games. So it ranged from Sonic 1 on Genesis all the way to Forces on PlayStation 4. This year, in 2022, we took a look at the handheld mainline games. Right here, what we have on screen is our tier list from last year. If you're a part of the community, you probably have already seen it. If you're new, which I think most people are, you haven't seen it. This is my ranking. I will say there are some things from last year that I don't necessarily agree with. So I guess let's just start from scratch. Okay, so we reset the tier list, and I still am going to stick mainly to my original thoughts and opinions from my original tier list. I have both of my original tier lists on the side for reference, so I do have a general idea of what my thoughts are. So we're gonna start with the start of the franchise where it all began, Sonic 1 on Genesis. Pretty clear thoughts on that. It's a pretty average game. Obviously, for what it did at the time, it's pretty impressive, all things considered. I think out of all of these games, it nails the sense of momentum. That's where it all counts. So you have to play the game differently from what the rest of the series kind of put forward. So with that in mind, I say what it does well. The problem is the stages don't really work towards that idea. There's a lot of stopping. It's more treated like a regular platformer with momentum elements included, but they don't go full force on it. Then we go to Sonic 2, where I put this at a B rank. Now you're probably thinking, but Sonic 2 is the best. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. There are good levels. I'd say the level design is overall improved in comparison to Sonic 1's. I think Sonic 2 is better overall. Introduction Tails, so you get your second player involved, and you have the spin dash, which fundamentally changed the way the game is played for the rest of the series going forward until the boost formula, but we'll get there when we get there. Sonic 2, the reason why I don't put it up above an A or an S rank is because I do still think there's some flaws to it. Obviously, most of these games are very fundamentally flawed, but I think some of the level design is just not some of my favorite. With that in mind, Sonic 2 just isn't up there for me. It's just not. But it's a good game. I don't put it lowly. Going on to our next one, my favorite of all time, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. This one is an easy S rank. Now this is looking at it as Sonic 3 and Knuckles, not the two separate games. You put the two separate games together, I still put them at A rank respectively. Sonic and Knuckles maybe like at a B above Sonic 2. Maybe even below Sonic 2, it really depends. The problem with Sonic and Knuckles is you lose the feature of saves, which was the whole reason why Sonic 3 excelled in my opinion. Sonic 1 and 2 suffered from A, not very great special stages, so it's really hard to do that and get all of the Chaos Emeralds in a run for not very good payoff. But then also, yeah, no save states. If you're getting a game over and you run out of continues, you're just fucked. Sonic 3 and Knuckles kind of prevents that by having, well, save files. And that was a game changer. That's, I think, why it was the most approachable for me growing up. You know, people have their love for the original Sonic 2 and Sonic 1 sprites, but Sonic 3, something about it, it hits very well. Going to the next one, we get, in my opinion, the first dud of the franchise, Sonic CD. I do not like this game. I think Relaxalax has a really good video on basically all my opinions on it. I highly recommend if you kind of want to get more of my thoughts. It really just comes down to, if I said that like the level design is kind of counterintuitive in Sonic 1, or, you know, just not the greatest that it could get to in Sonic 2, the level design's just fucking bad in Sonic CD. The only thing you can give that game is that it has a bombastic soundtrack, whether it's the Japanese or the American version, and I can sort of respect that, but man, this game is like a fever dream. Even the jump sound effect doesn't sound quite right, and that's just my opinion on it. Obviously, you get animations for the first time. I do consider these things as games themselves, as what they set out to do. In comparison to the other three that came before it / around its time, it's the weakest of the bunch by far, and is not enjoyable to play in the slightest. Now we get to our first of our Sonic Month 2 variants, Sonic 1 on GameGear. So it's slightly different. Sonic 1 on GameGear, I will put, in my original tier list, I put it at the D rank. I'm gonna put it at the D rank again, but above love Sonic CD, and to be honest, it almost feels disingenuous to put it in this D rank. In comparison to its Sonic 1 counterpart on Genesis, it's kind of impressive. The problem is the Master System version is the better version overall, but I'm not counting that. I'm counting the GameGear one because that's the one that we played this year. And for the screen crunch, it's not a perfect game. Still had to save state using emulation, obviously, to high hell. It was not a good time. For this bit to work, I'm just gonna say fuck it and rip the band-aid off. Sonic Forces is my least favorite game in the franchise. I had to just throw this in there because you have your highest of highs, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and your lowest of lows, Sonic Forces. And then you have the next game on the list, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on GameGear. Wow. This game is bad. This game is horrible. You'll see going forward as we get into the adventure era, the 3D era, a big problem is unfinished games, or games that are just rushed out the door and not really polished. This game is a game that is finished and is just terrible. Horrible. First boss is just it's almost unbeatable. You have to verse against this fucking death worm, Mongolian death worm, that's pulling you in while it shoots these balls that have to hit it. You have to survive like 8 hits and you go in with no rings. The level structure in this game is god awful. And honestly, this was one of the hardest games I've ever had to play on stream, even with save states. I could not imagine being a kid in the 90s growing up with a shitty ass Game Gear, and this was the game that you had to play. It was very bad. If I could make its own tier, I consider this worse than Forces. But for now, we keep it an E rank. Next going on the list, Sonic Adventure. You know, the classic Sonic had a rough transition into 3D. I don't care. I'm putting this guy above Sonic Adventure 2. Whether you're talking about Sonic Adventure DX or the original, I still do think for its first outing into 3D, it deserves respect for what it did and its ambition. Sonic has the longest campaign. You play as like 4 other characters other than him, which introduced the idea of A, separate campaigns, B, utilizing the other characters with different abilities. Now, obviously, you know, you had that with Tails and Knuckles having flying and gliding and punching in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but still in this game they flipped it even more and pushed it to its limits. But we'll see, when you can make it more concise and give it a little more structure, you hit one of the pinnacles of the franchise. Sonic Adventure 2 is personally my personal favorite game in the entire franchise. It is just a lot of passion and a lot of care put into a game. And honestly, this game, you'll see, is an anomaly. You'll see going forward, a lot of games rushed out the door, like I said, and they're not very good. This is one of those games that was rushed out of the door and is, in my opinion, phenomenal. Obviously, you know, let's point out the things, haha, silly story, haha, bad voice acting. But honestly, in comparison to Sonic Adventure, the voice acting is a lot better, a lot higher stakes. This game is the pinnacle of the world is ending cataclysm. They go forward with the whole cataclysmic stuff into the 2000s, but Sonic Adventure 2, I don't think any other game can do it quite like Sonic Adventure 2 did. No problem. My only issue is, and you can point out a lot of flaws within the gameplay structure and different gameplay varieties. Some levels don't hold up as well, but honestly, as the overall package, I still go back to this one fondly. Next on the list is another game from our Sonic Month 2 variety. This year we did all the handhelds, so we have Sonic Advanced 1. Now, Sonic Advanced 1 I put at C tier. Do I put Sonic Advanced over Sonic the Hedgehog 1? The game that started it all, that was really just learning, or the game that came out, I think, on that 15th anniversary, the same time as Sonic Adventure 2, but it has some flaws of its own. There's a reason why I don't put it super high. Bottomless pit syndrome. You're going to see this with all of the handheld games going forward, made by, or, you know, in cooperation with, as they say, Dimps. Whew. Some of that level design is not good to come back to, but I'll say I played it on my original Game Boy Advanced SP before playing it on stream, and I got to Chaos Angel, or whatever the Angel Island stage is before, you know, some of the finales, and it's good. I like it for what it is. It's not perfect. Once you get to that sky level, that's when shit kind of, they really throw in those pits everywhere, man. But I'm gonna say it still is good for what it is. The introduction of Amy Rose as a playable character in a 2D environment also works out quite well here, and I think it's good for what it sets out to do. I'm gonna put it above Sonic the Hedgehog 1, but we'll see. Next, we have Sonic Adventure 2. I don't have a lot of good to say about it, to be quite honest with you. Personally, it's not one of the worst games, but it kind of is. I have to put it at the bottom of, or the top of D rank. I would still put it above Sonic the Hedgehog 1. I would still even put it above Sonic CD. But man, there are some fundamental problems with it. Go watch Jay's reviews video on it. He explains a lot of these thoughts that I have. Now, I'll just say right off the bat the things that I do enjoy. I think the engine runs a little bit better. Sonic runs a little bit faster. Where the real flaws are is in those boss battles. Next, we have Sonic Advance 3, the king of the trilogy. I put it at B rank. It's hard to put it above Sonic the Hedgehog 2, because I do think Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a pretty clean game, but I think Sonic Advance 3 has so much going for it in terms of I like the stages, and this is an anomaly of this rule. I don't like the 3-act structure. I think if it in the 2D games, it should be 2 acts and a boss, or 2 acts, boss at the end of Act 2. This game has 3 acts and a boss, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. The buddy system's really cool, though not perfectly implemented. It's unfortunate that we won't see a system like that again, but for what it's worth, I think they did a good job on it. Oh, and best soundtrack of the Advanced Trilogy for sure. Next, we have Sonic Heroes, going back to the original Sonic Month variety. You think I'd put it up here? You thought wrong, bitch. This game frustrated the shit out of me. But we're gonna have a little bit of a difference from last year. So last year, my thoughts were very low on Sonic Heroes. I did not like this game as much as I did growing up. I still look back at that playthrough not very fondly. I'm gonna have to put it above Sonic Advance 2, still below Sonic the Hedgehog 1. I think I was a little harsh on it. After playing some of the lows of the handheld variety, I can definitely say Heroes deserves a little more of my respect for what it did. Putting that sort of level by level play style into the 3D environment is really cool. I still think it's a very padded out game, and I don't think it's as padded out as some of the games that we'll see going forward. However, I think 4 playthroughs to get to the final boss with the emeralds in mind, how you have to go about getting the emeralds, and just the boss battles, they are so weak. Copy and paste, honestly not fun at all. That's really what holds me back from enjoying Sonic Heroes as much as I used to as a kid. It had a lot to offer. I would still like them to do the Heroes formula again, but for now I'm gonna put it at C tier. It goes up a tier from last year. Next, we have a new one from after Sonic Month, which was a sub goal. We have our first sub goal that was Shadow the Hedgehog on Nintendo GameCube. I actually don't have this one ranked. I'm going to say it is gonna go low, and it's not because I have any strong distaste towards the game. It's just kind of fundamentally flawed, and I can't really get past that. Yeah, we can laugh all day about how Shadow's an edgelord, but I think my biggest issue is how they butcher the character. I still think there's some really unique ideas. They try to go for the split timeline approach, but some of it is very monotonous. Most of the stages, I'll say, are not very memorable or not very fun. There's some cool instances of a little bit of fan service that I found in my playthrough last year, but for the most part, I'll say this game is kind of a slog. It's just go kill this many enemies, then get to the end of the level, whereas I think the normal structure of the series, level by level, just works better. Do I put it above Sonic CD? That's the hard part, because I dislike Sonic CD, I'll have you know. I do not like that game at all. Shadow the Hedgehog, man. I have a soft spot for it for just what they were trying to do. I can respect it. At the same time, I can respect what they were trying to do with Sonic CD, but Shadow the Hedgehog, I mean, I don't dislike it that much. It also had a fun multiplayer, but it was multiplayer that lasted you like a couple minutes at the most. I'm gonna have to put Shadow the Hedgehog below Sonic CD, and that's not because I dislike it. It's just, if I have to choose a game to go back to, I would want to give Sonic CD a chance. Shadow the Hedgehog, I played it growing up. I played my first finished playthrough as an adult. If you want all the timelines and all that shit, just watch the cutscenes on YouTube, man. Sonic 06. Oh, baby. So this was a controversial pick for me last year because I don't dislike this game. Now, do I put it at an S tier? Of course not. You actually would have to be like, have some sort of brain disability of some sort. For me, I'm gonna be real with you. It's bad. It is a objectively horrible game, but it was also unfinished. And this is my biggest complaint with a lot of the Sonic franchise. A lot of these games are finished. Sonic Heroes is a finished game. Sonic CD is a finished game. Sonic Advance 2 is a finished game. Shadow the Hedgehog is a finished game. These are finished games that are unfun or boring. If we want to go the boring route, Sonic Forces, which is a complete game that is complete garbage. There was ambition. There was a goal in mind to reboot the franchise. And as much as they didn't do what they set out to do, they kind of did. This game fundamentally changed how Sonic would go moving forward. Whether that was for the best or for the worst, well, we'll see going forward. But I still think from playing Sonic the Hedgehog 06, there was a lot to love about it, to be honest with you. I still, yes, this was how it was last year too, because Sonic Heroes was D rank. I'm still gonna put it above Sonic Heroes. Why? Because I might be playing 3 different stories, but at the end of the day, they're different. They're completely different playthroughs, different play styles. They're not perfect, mind you, but you're playing with different characters for portions of the stages, and I enjoy it for what it is. Sonic Heroes is the same game 4 times with slight alterations and very shitty boss battles. Going back a couple years, we have Sonic Rush. I put this game humbly at a B ranking. When I did the original tier list on stream, I put it above Sonic Advance 3. Do I still believe that? I honestly have to say I do. Because Blaze, dude. I love playing as Blaze. This year, when I played the game again, I realized that I still enjoy it. Maybe my thoughts will change on a repeat playthrough. I enjoy it for what it is, and those special stages are great. Does it lose some of the extra stuff that we got in Sonic Advance 3? Yes, unfortunately, but I still think for what it's worth, it's a great game. Now we get to what was at the highest rank for my Sonic Month 2 tier list, and this is Sonic Rush Adventure. Rush Adventure, don't get me wrong, I see where the flaws are, I see where people don't like things about it, but I'm gonna say my piece. I liked the boating stuff. I thought it was fun. The special zones being reduced to Johnny is a little bit of a downgrade in my opinion, but this feels more like an adventure. Sonic Rush meets Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass, and I liked it more than Phantom Hourglass, I'll tell you that much. It was fun. I like that Blaze puts Marine in her place. She's just a stupid kid and is fucking annoying. Fuck Marine. Blaze was my main in that game. Levels are really good. It's, in my opinion, Dimp's peak is the level design in Rush Adventure, and for that, it is my favorite of the handheld variety. Next up, Sonic and the Secret Rings, a game that I did play after Sonic Month was done, along with Shadow the Hedgehog and what will be next, Sonic and the Black Knight. This game is not good. This game is really bad, but I'll say I liked the equip system. That was kind of cool. The problem is how they implemented it. It's one of those things where they get a good idea, but they don't implement it properly. They don't build on it in another game. Kind of, they did in this case, but then they leave it to the wayside to die because, oh, it didn't work. The fans hated it. Sonic and the Secret Rings isn't good, but man, I like that multiplayer. Do I put it above CD or below CD? That's the question. No, the Wii controls, dude. My hand was cramping. Do I put it above Shadow? Do I put it below Shadow? I don't know, because Shadow is like kind of competent, but Sonic and the Secret Rings also doesn't tell you where to go next for each level. It's bad in that aspect. But the final boss is pretty cool, I'll say. And once you do get all of your abilities maxed out with the weapon or the ring equip system, you feel like it feels like a competent game. You can't say the same for Shadow. So I'm gonna put Sonic and the Secret Rings at D tier, above Shadow the Hedgehog, and below CD. Sonic and the Black Knight. This game builds off of Sonic and the Secret Rings in multiple ways, uses the nunchuck so you're not playing it like a fucking idiot and not getting cramps in your hand, and also has a pretty damn good story with Sonic honestly at the pinnacle of his character. And for that, even though the level and actual gameplay is not good, the level design and actual gameplay is not very good, I have to put it up there at least. It deserves a mention, and I still think, all things considered, level design better than Advanced. More developed ideas than Sonic the Hedgehog 1. Obviously, it's a finished game in comparison to Sonic the Hedgehog 06, and there isn't a lot of fluff like I feel like there is in Heroes. You play through the game, then you can choose your character. The equip system is better than Sonic and the Secret Rings. I even would put it at a low B rank, but at the end of the day, the gameplay with the Endless Runner format, it's just not that good, and for that I have to put it at C rank. Sonic Unleashed on the 360/PS3. This one was a controversial opinion of mine. People don't really like this opinion. How how could he possibly put it under Sonic 06? Because it's 1/3 of the game that you really like. 1/3. I tried to go back to this game after Sonic Month ended. Padding, getting the stupid fucking Sun and Moon Emeralds. By the end of it, I just said, well, this is not fun anymore. This is ridiculous. Having to find NPCs, all this extra shit. People really like the hub worlds in this game, I think because it makes them feel like in the world, and that's fair. But I also grew up playing Sonic Unleashed on the Wii. Sonic Unleashed on the Wii is fundamentally the same game, but I would at least put Sonic Unleashed on the Wii above Sonic 06 or Sonic 1, just because I think them getting rid of hub worlds is pretty useful. It makes the game a lot more concise in what you're doing and just getting back to the levels, back to what you're wanting to play. And yeah, don't get me started. You can say it's 1/2 to 1/2, but it's not. 1/3 of the game is boost formula. Really good boost formula in Sonic Unleashed on the 360, but Sonic Unleashed at the end of the day is 2/3 Werehog levels. Werehog levels where when I returned to the game in December of last year, I got soft locked twice. I don't like this game. It still angers me. I can't beat it, and not because get good, but because it's just not well made. Damn, I got heated. If you want a better analysis between the Sonic Unleashed on 360 and Sonic Unleashed on Wii, I highly recommend Exo Paradigm's cross-platform series, where he dissects Sonic Unleashed on the Wii versus Sonic Unleashed on the 360. Next, we have Sonic Colors. Sonic Colors I put rather highly, I'd say. I still put it above Sonic Adventure. It's not a perfect game, but I still enjoy it. Yeah, there's some fluff levels, but the fluff is such light fluff. Yeah, okay, you do a fucking level that might last 30 seconds, but like, bro, it's literally 30 seconds. Who fucking cares? Sonic Colors is a good game, and it's what the series needed going forward so that we could get this. In my opinion, the magnum opus of the boost formula. Looking back on the series' greatest hits, it's hard. Last year, I put this above Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but looking at them again, it's hard for me. My heart says Sonic Generations, but my mind says Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Sonic 3 and Knuckles because this game, for what it did at the time and what was before it, it is the pinnacle. It's just its own complete package, brand new. It's the reason why I put Sonic Adventure 2 so high in comparison to some of the other games. Going forward, you'll see nostalgia baiting aplenty. Other than Sonic Colors on DS, which is the next one, this is the nostalgia baiting at its best when it's used as the backbone. The whole idea is it's a look back on the series' greatest, and that's what made it great. And then it also controlled well and played well. It was awesome. Now the story is nothing to talk about, and I think this is why Sonic 3 and Knuckles goes above it in my opinion, because you look deeper than the core of it, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles is oozing with lore that would be pulled from in Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. And for that, I think Sonic 3 and Knuckles is just that great. Now Sonic Generations is, in my opinion, just the pinnacle gameplay wise. It is a fantastic game, Hedgehog engine at its finest, fantastic. None of the fucking bullshit fluff that you see, and the 2D sections of classic Sonic are just as fun as the modern ones. I should have put this before. Sonic Colors on DS is also A rank. I don't know if I put it above Sonic Colors on Wii though, and I think that's just because I played so much of Colors on Wii. I don't know if I can differentiate the differences. I'd say Sonic Colors on DS is a more concise game overall, and even introduces a supersonic sequence. So for that, and also having the Sonic cast in various levels and areas in the game, and you don't even have to worry about that. I went my entire playthrough with not doing any of the missions. It's better than Sonic Colors on Wii, for sure. Next we have Sonic Generations 3DS. I still put this pretty highly. I still like it for what it is. I played it before Generations on the 360, so I had an even better appreciation for that game later. Sonic Generations on 3DS is better than Sonic Colors DS. The level design is the same sort of level design that we saw in Generations 360. It's just all 2D, and that's maybe my only hiccup with it that doesn't put it on S rank, is they really could have went all out and made Sonic his first 3D outing on the handhelds. But they left it for Lost World. Lost World, it was at the top of C rank last year. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to fucking do it again, man. Sonic Lost World, I said was just the mid-range point, the real middleman of the entire series, from painfully average to fundamentally broken. And that was until I played Sonic Lost World on 3DS. This game, and unfortunately on this tier list I don't have a different one for 3DS versus the regular, but I don't think it matters because they are fundamentally the same game. In hindsight, it suffers from a lot of the same issues that I have with Forces, which is just painfully boring syndrome. Not to mention the worst story in a Sonic game ever. Sonic Lost World is for sure at the bottom of C tier. Not an awful game, painfully average, nostalgia baiting, but also some really, really good music that I would say I put above the soundtracks of most of D tier, not including Sonic CD. Don't at me. Next, we have Sonic the Hedgehog 4 episodes 1, 2, and Metal. Metal doesn't even deserve to be on this fucking tier list. It's literally, you just play through some of the levels again as Metal Sonic. And for that, I mean, it just goes at the same rank that Sonic 4 does, and that is E. It's so hard to choose whether this goes above Forces or not. The below Forces tier, that's a hard fucking thing to meet. That's a really hard thing to meet. I'm gonna say episode Metal goes above Forces. It reintroduces Metal Sonic. You get to play as him, which is pretty cool. Still though, weak. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 episode 1 easily is the nostalgia baiting at its worst. Coming at the same year as Sonic Generations, it's fucking hilarious to think how bad this game is. The music sounds washed out. There's none of the crunch that you got from the Genesis titles. It just sounds like stock music. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 episode 2 is slightly better. Do I put it above Shadow the Hedgehog? I don't think so. I still think it suffers from a lot of the issues that Sonic 4 episode 1 does. But you can see it is a very, very large increase in quality. I will say it goes above Shadow the Hedgehog. And finally, the game we get to end off on, Sonic Mania, which actually came out before Sonic Forces. This game's really good. This game goes at a fucking S tier. It goes below Generations, just because Generations you get the best of both worlds. You get Sonic in 2D and Sonic in 3D. The best of the best. Sure, Sonic in 2D on this game, you know, doesn't control like his Genesis counterpart, but for what it's worth and for what it is, I still think it's fantastic. But I think Mania does what I was sort of saying, is that nostalgia baiting. It's everywhere. There's more levels from older games than there are new levels. But what they do with those old levels is they flip them on their heads in the second act. Remixed music, beautiful sprite art, a passion project made by the fans and for the fans. I just don't put it above Sonic Generations because I think Sonic Generations is that anomaly. A lot of these games are anomalies where things just go so right. We still got a lot of games to play. We're gonna see where it goes, but for now, this is where my tier list stands. A lot of middle-of-the-road games, some really bad games, and some moderately bad games, or just very fundamentally flawed games that I would never find myself coming back to. Yeah, that's right. I'd find myself coming back to Sonic the Hedgehog, or Unleashed even, or even fucking Heroes before any of the games at the bottom. With that in mind, thank you guys for watching, and roast me in the comments!